everybody. Welcome to another live session. It is great to be here again. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I have got a great session in store today. I'm really looking forward to talking about this topic today. I truly believe this is one of the most simplest, one of the most effective ways to get dressed. So if you're joining me here today, you're in for a treat. We are going to be talking about and diving into outfit formulas. So if you are here with me live, say hi in the comments so I can see you here with me. And if you're going to be watching this on a replay, hello to you as well. So if you don't know me or my work, I'm Lucy. I'm the founder of Style Rises, and I help driven, high-performing women use personal style really to accelerate their confidence, their visibility, and their presence. And so I know from working with so many women in that space, particularly professional women, that they are time poor. And so this is one of the reasons why outfit formulas and the concept of outfit formulas are so good, particularly if you are someone also that is time poor. I know myself as a businesswoman, there is just a lot of things to get done, and I don't want complicated decisions or, a lot of time around what I wear, but I absolutely want to show up looking polished and I want to show up looking put together. Hi, Carolyn. It's lovely to see you here. So thanks for joining. So as I mentioned, we're talking about tonight this topic of outfit formulas. And let me just jump away from the comments. And as I said, time poor is probably one of the biggest things that I hear from women that I work with. And then we have the problem also of just putting outfits together, right? Sometimes that in itself can feel like something quite complicated. Even if you see something on social or on Pinterest or somewhere, we have to be able to translate that to ourselves. And that's not always an easy thing to do. And again, when we're in that decision-making process, that can actually take up a lot of energy, particularly if it's first thing in the morning and you're having to open your wardrobe, stand there and think, what am I going to wear today? And you've got all these different items of clothing. And what I've found is we often just don't have a set way or a framework around how we're going to put those together. And so this is where the concept of outfit formulas works so beautifully. So not only does it help when you're time poor, it helps you put outfits together and it cuts down on the decision making. So how good is all of those things? And this is why truly, they have been an amazing, something, fantastic for my own style. And it's part of what I teach now, because I think that they just give you something that is simplistic, but is so effective to apply to your style. And so I'm going to share with you some examples here. I'm going to share with you just more around the concept and how do they actually work. And feel free as we go along, ask comments. I'll be checking, ask questions. I will be checking in the comments as we go along, so I can answer those. And hello to Elsie. Lovely to see you here again. Okay, so I really came across these and I started to apply these in my own style when I started my business, because I just wanted to simplify my wardrobe and I wanted to simplify my own style. And I came to the realization that I had a couple of outfits and outfit combinations that I felt best in. Like they were my favorite things to wear. And, I call them like our go-to confidence outfits. Those were the ones that I reached for when I had something important on or I really wanted to feel my best. But what I tended to do, and I know this is really common because I hear it from a lot of other women, what I used to tend to do was I would think in outfits. So this top would go with this pair of pants, and sometimes I might change up the earrings or my hairstyle, but I wore it basically the same way. That's okay. Like, I'm a big fan of repeating outfits. We can totally do that. But if we're just repeating the same thing all the time, and I would sometimes do that, sometimes we will just start to get bored. We won't feel like we've got a lot of variety in the wardrobe. And often what happens is we're not really getting the most amount of value out of that item of clothing. And I really wanted to I want to get the absolute maximum return out of every piece in my wardrobe. And I really encourage you to do the same. We spend, a lot of money, good money on clothing. If you look at the stats, it's about $125K that a woman's going to spend over her lifetime on clothing. And I want to make sure that the pieces that I bring into my wardrobe get worn. I can wear them in different ways. They're interchangeable. And I found that I wasn't doing that as much as I wanted to. And that was really what took me on my own journey to say, okay, well, I've actually got some of these simple combinations or go-to outfits that I love and feel best in. How can I build on that? And how can I create more of that? Like, I want to create more of that in my wardrobe. So I want you to think about the concept of style formulas as being like a repeatable base, like a recipe. If you like to cook, maybe you've got a recipe for muffins or cookies, or maybe you've got a favorite cake recipe, and you have those key ingredients that go into that recipe, but then you can mix it up a little bit. You can put in cook chocolate chips to your muffins. You could put in blueberries. You could put in different things, but you always have some key ingredients that go into it, and that's your repeatable base. And that is exactly the concept of style formulas, and they become the basis of how you dress. For me now, they really are the basis of how I dress. But unlike before, many years ago, when I used to say, all right, well, that pair of pants, I like wearing it with that top, and then I put it with those shoes, and that's the outfit. I now have like a formula of how I will put something together, but I mix it up, and I can mix up the pieces that are within that formula. And that is what has worked so incredibly well. It's simplified so many things, and I'm not wearing the same thing all the time. Like, I have so many different options, and it's given me a wardrobe of interchangeable pieces where you actually can mix things up a lot. So they are just incredibly efficient. That is, I think that's the word that I want to give to outfit formulas. They're so incredibly efficient. As I mentioned, you've got this list of ingredients that come together for your formula. And so what does that do? It saves you money in the long run, because you can be very honed in on what you're going to purchase, because what you're purchasing is going to fit within a formula. And I'm going to use, going to use the recipe food analogy again because I think it works really well here. If you're, making those cookies or those muffins or that cake, you're going to go to the supermarket and you're going to have a specific list of ingredients that you need to purchase for it. Now, if you've ever been to the supermarket without a list, I have, and I end up typically wandering aimlessly around, not really knowing what I'm looking for and looking at all the different options, and your brain just feels overloaded. You don't know what to purchase. Versus you go with a list, you're like, right, bang, 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 bang. I really find that is so similar with style and just shopping for clothes. If you are going into a department store or, one of the sort of high street stores and you don't know what you're looking for, we are totally overwhelmed with options. It is like sensory overwhelm. We just can't handle that many options. That is just, our brains aren't capable really of being able to compute that many options when we don't know what we're looking for. So we need a way to move through, right, all the clutter and to be able to be really honed in. And so if you've got a formula, and I'll share some formulas with you today, but if you've got a formula and okay, these items form part of my formula, then really those are the only things that you're looking for in that store. And suddenly 100% of options comes down to 10% of options. And that's an amazing place to be in for your brain. And I just think general well-being, right? We are just overloaded with information and decisions nowadays. So this is a way to make that different, to make that better. As I mentioned, like they're a reliable blueprint. You actually have a blueprint for getting dressed, and then you can personalize it. And I'll talk about how you would personalize formulas to you, because I just think that's one of the most important things of style. Like it should feel personal to us. Your style is an expression and a reflection of who you are. And so being able to have this base and this reliable blueprint, and then being able to personalize it on top of that, that's really what makes formulas really special. The other thing I want to mention that I love about them is that you can dress them up, you can dress them down. And so I used to, and let me know if this resonates with you, but I used to be very specific in that these were my clothes for work, these were more my clothes for going out. And, those two wardrobes didn't really interact very much. Now I run my own business, so it is a little bit different, but I often find that my pieces in my wardrobe now, they work across all different facets of my life, because I can dress up or I can dress down this outfit formula that I've got. And it's very, very simple to do that when you actually have the basis or the blueprints within your formula, and everything works within that. Oh, they're such a great place to be in when your wardrobe works like this. I just think it's just, as I said, it's the most simplistic, effective way that you can dress. So what I might do is, I think this is probably a good point to actually show you a visual. I want to share some visuals of these in real life. And I'm going to bring up, okay, let me bring up the lovely Amal Clooney. This is someone who a lot of my clients, will mention they love her style. She's very elegant. She's very sophisticated. Now, if you look at all of these photos, you'll see there is one outfit formula that she is repeating in all of these. And that is, she does a shift dress. It's a modern shift dress. It's not a really, really classic one. There's very modern and contemporary elements to her shift dress. And she does it with a heel. Sometimes she's got a little jacket. There's a little matching red jacket on the one on the right-hand side. But otherwise, she just does the shift dress. She's got a heel. Obviously, she's got a handbag there too. And she's always got her lovely, beautiful, big sunglasses on. But she literally repeats this really, really often. And you can see she doesn't look the same. She looks totally different in every single one. She's got, but it's exactly the same formula that she's following. And so if, let's say that, you wanted to have an outfit formula that involved a dress and you loved a dress and you loved wearing a dress, then that's going to be a great investment for you. You know that you're going to get wear out of that dress. And so I want you to really see how it also helps you settle into your own style, create your own style, and have consistency across your style so that you start to show up in a way where people are going to start to recognize you. You're going to start to be memorable. You're not showing up one day looking one way and another day looking so totally different that there's no resonance between the two styles. So Amal Clooney is a great example. Particularly, this is often in her professional life that she is doing this shift dress and this heel. Now, what I want to mention here is that, let me bring something else up so you can just see this, is that the style formulas are the combination of items that you wear together. So in Amal's case, it's the shift dress and the heel. The gold standard, though, and really what you want to have underpinning your formulas as well, is you want to have your most flattering elements. And that's what I call $1 million style formulas. They are the gold standard. That is where you've got your color, your best colors, you've got your contrast, you've got your silhouettes, and you've got your personality. And that's what helps you express, more of who you are. And that's what helps personalize them to you. And if I go back to the example of Amal, Amal's gone. I'm back. Let's just pop her up there. She wears specific colors that is very, very, very much suited to her. She's very good with her colors. She has a very elegant, sophisticated, contemporary style that very much works for the role that she's in. She has quite an international facing role. She's in, sort of the legal human rights space that absolutely works for the environment that she's in. So she's taken this formula, but it's also very, very much personalized to her. And so that is what you want to do as well. You want to take a formula and then we want to add in all those elements so that it is going to be a true, wonderful, very full expression of who you are. And it's really going to, as I mentioned, it's going to help you create a consistent and polished style. Okay. So let me know if there's any questions for those of you who are joining me, if this is all making sense. I popped into the comments. Everything looks okay at the moment. So what I might do now is actually want to show you another example because I want you to see the different expressions of these. So we've got, as I said, you've got this, base structure, this blueprint, and the ideal is that you're going to then be able to, we want to be able to personalize that for you. So totally different example that I want to share with you, but that also always does outfit formulas and shows this beautifully, is Michelle Obama. Totally different style to Amal Clooney. And a different outfit formula. And again, she's really brought in, elements that are very much suited to her. So in all of these photos, you can see the same base pieces in that she has a wide leg pant, she has a blazer, and both of those pieces are matching. So they're a suit, and she has a heel. Now, this is when she came out of the White House. She was writing her books. She was going on a big, personal branding and promotional, campaign. And she'd really stepped into what felt like her own style, right? She didn't need to be within the more classic style that is often expected and part of that first lady dress code. One of the things that I love about these is she actually often doesn't have a blouse underneath the blazer. Only in the blue one does she, but it's actually part of the entire suit. But it gives it even more of this contemporary edginess. And obviously you can see she's got really, a lot of really bold, bright colors here too. Absolutely suited for her and her coloring. The other thing that this really demonstrates is the point I was making before about dressing these up or down. She's got a denim suit here. It's actually like a cargo pant. There are, the cargo pockets on the side. It's a dress down version, totally different hair that she's got going on there. But you can see how one formula, if you just have one formula, how many different outfits you can make that do not look the same. They are going to look totally different, but you're going to have so much more effectiveness and simplicity within your wardrobe when you do that. Now, for her, in her case, purchasing a blazer and a wide leg pant, great purchase. She knows she's going to wear that. Now, she always does it as a suit, but that could just as easily be done as suit separates. So you only need one formula to give you so many different outfits. You don't need 10 formulas. I have 3 or 4 that I tend to just cycle through all the time because it gives me enough variation. Carolyn, let me have a look at your comment. I'm going to pop that up on the screen so everyone can see. You wear similar with Zimmermann, beautiful brand, but never sure if it's best to wear the full pantsuit or mix it up. This is, Carolyn, where it's absolutely a personal choice there. A full pantsuit, in Michelle's case, she's shown that if we think about a full pantsuit, it was the classic traditional pantsuit, but there are modern interpretations of that, and she shows that beautifully by demonstrating much more modern cuts. She's got very contemporary bold colors, and as I said, she often wouldn't wear a blouse, so it gives it a contemporary feel. So you can absolutely go either way. You can do the full pantsuit and have a look at, is that giving you the look and feel that you want? Is that conveying the message that you want? Because that's always the other thing that we want to think about. We want to think about, does this make me look and feel genuine, true to me and authentic, and do I feel really confident in it? And then how will that be perceived by other people? That you can totally mix it up. You can totally do pants that, mix and match sort of suit separates. That is, as I said, it's a totally personal opinion. You can do either, Carolyn. Absolutely great question. Great question. Okay, so I hope that's helped. I think seeing the visuals really helps you see how the outfit formulas come together and how they work. And I really want to, stress here that they're not limiting. They're actually so versatile. And as I said, in my own wardrobe, I have 3 or 4, and I cycle through those, and I've got, just from one formula, I've got so many different options that I can wear within that one formula. And as I said, it's great to personalize it to you. Okay, Elsie, you've got a question there. Let's see if I can bring that up too. I really like Amal and Michelle's clothes. This is probably slightly off topic to the concept of formulas, but are Amal's outfits really the best idea for women to advance their career? They almost seem a bit casual for really corporate environments. Can she get away with it because she's already at the top? That is a great question. Look, celebrity examples, we do need to take into consideration that, yes, they're already at the top and they've already reached a certain level. And when you've reached a certain level, there are definitely going to be different considerations for those people, and they can sometimes get away with things that in a typical corporate environment can be more challenging. Having said that, are her outfits really the best idea for women looking to advance their career? Elsie, it really comes down to the industry that you're in, because different industries are going to have totally different work codes. If that was in a very, very traditional corporate environment, perhaps not. But if it was in, I used to work in the fashion industry in head office roles, totally you could go in and do that. If it's in an industry that is more fashion forward or pushes the boundaries a little bit more creatively, where it's going to work in your favor to be dressed in that way, then absolutely that could be something to advance your career. This is where it's so important that we can consider the audience and the environment that we're going into, and we can make the best decision based on that. And we want to be always mindful of the message that our clothing is sending. And a lot of that, the industry that you're in really does play a key role in helping you understand what is the best style of clothing for you to wear to help you advance your career. I hope that's helped, and it's not off topic. It's still great. That's a great question, and I think that's going to be really helpful, Elsie. So thank you for asking it. And I think it really just brings us back to the concept of having a formula that works for you, and within the personalization of that formula, we are going to be thinking about, how is this going to be perceived and in line with my message? And we always want to make sure that we can bring style back to our goals as well, because at the end of the day, your style should help you move forward and achieve your goals. I like to think of your style like anything else in your career toolbox that you have. You've got your skills and your courses and the things that we're going to do to raise up our level of competency. And it's just as important that we work on the skills and the mindset to raise up our level of confidence and the way that other people are going to experience us from a visual perspective as well, because it makes a difference. And it's going to make a difference to the way that people are going to react to you and treat you. And it's going to make a very big difference to the energy that you bring into a room and the way that you show up. Okay, so just wanting to wrap up this session on style formulas, and I want to give you something to go off with, and that is around how can you create, a formula. One of the best ways to start is to start with something that you love. So start with something that you absolutely love to wear. As I said to you, when I was first thinking about these, when I started my business, I wanted my business to be, I wanted my style and my wardrobe to be simpler. And I thought about, I have these go-to favorite outfits that I love, and I wanted to create more of that. So it's a really good starting point for your own formula. It can be something that you really, really love to wear. And maybe that is a midi skirt and a blouse and a tee, or, maybe it is someone else has said, my go-to, great, you've got a go-to, amazing. My go-to is wide leg linen pant with a patterned shell. Awesome. And you love to add big accessories. I especially like big earrings. That's a great formula. Wide leg linen pant with a patterned shell top and big accessories. That is perfect. And that is a great formula to start with. So start there. That is the perfect point to help you understand this concept and to help you start to put these into practice into your own wardrobe. Start with one formula, something that you really love to wear. There was a great example up there. Thank you for sharing that on the screen. It could be a denim, might be jeans, a tee and a blazer and a sneaker, or a flat pair of shoes. It could be a dress and a pair of heels and a big bold earring. Start there. That is the absolute best place to help you start understanding this concept. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed talking about this topic. As I've said, I think this is it is the most simplest, effective way for you to think about your style, to organize your wardrobe, to help you shop for clothes. You are shopping for pieces that fit within your formula. So if you've got one with wide leg pants are going to be a great investment for you. There's so many benefits that you're going to get when you actually apply this concept in full to your wardrobe, and you're able to personalize those. Now, if you do want to see if you want to dive deeper into all of these, if you do want to reach, I talk about the gold standard, the $1 million style formulas. If you do want to reach that, I'll drop a link below. I am at the moment starting to curate the next cohort for my 6-week program that's going to kick off in February 2026. And that is one of the core outcomes that we create. We create all those beautiful $1 million style formulas that are all personalized to you, all based on your most flattering elements. And you've got these beautiful combinations to apply to your wardrobe. You can join a wait list. I'll privately reach out to you and I'll let you know the details of that. We can have a conversation if you like. Thanks, everybody, for joining today. Thanks for all your great questions. Thanks for popping into the comments. I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to be back next week. I'll be covering another topic. And thanks once again. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.